Yo, what's up? Back here with Stay, and welcome back here to the channel for another Apex Legends video. Now today I'm going to be walking all of you through the top 5 ways you can use Wraith's abilities to maximize your playstyle as her as your main legend, because she's a really special character, okay? She has a very offensive and very defensive aspects to her abilities, which if you aren't taking advantage of, you're not using her properly. So once again, that's why I'm going to walk you guys through these top 5 ways. Now if you like today's video, please make sure you drop a like down below, show your support for the channel, and subscribe if you guys think you'd come back here and watch some more, because I do make Apex Legends videos daily and I also stream in the evening. So Apex Legends safe haven over here, I got you guys covered. But let's not waste any more time and dive right on into it. So starting off with, I'm not gonna put this in any order, by the way, okay? Just to put that out there, right? But starting off with tip number 1, or way to use her ability number 1, I recommend that you guys use her Into the Void tactical ability on zip lines every single time you use a zip line. Well, like, unless no one is around, but this can be used offensively and defensively. I'm sure many of you guys have been in situations where people are pushing you and you need a quick route to get out of there, and there's a zip line nearby. Now zip lines, people are getting better at the game. They can pin you down on a zip line and gun you till you're down and then you fall off. Well, this Into the Void ability, you can actually pop this while using a zip line, and when you're in this Into the Void ability, you are absolutely immune to all forms of damage that is shot at your way or exploded at your way. So if people are chasing you and you're on the zip line, you're running away, and then they start shooting, pop this ability. It'll get you out of there nice and clean and you won't take any damage. Now looking at the offensive side of this, if you're pushing someone as well and someone is sitting at the end of a zip line and you know that they're going to start shooting at you if you try to push them because you know they're in a weak situation, well, jump on the zip line, wait till they start shooting, take maybe one shot or like anticipate them shooting, and then pop that Into the Void ability. They're not going to be able to attack you. You'll be able to get right up in their face, land maybe the first shot if you're lucky, but at least when you do start that gunfight, you'll be at an even playing field face to face with each other. They're not going to be able to get those first couple shots on you. So that's going to do it for the first, special way you can use her ability. I think this one is honestly what I utilize most out of all her ways to use her ability. I find it extremely useful. I use it all the time, almost every game. So that's going to do it. Once again, that's going to do it for number 1, and now I'm going to talk about tip number 2. And tip number 2 is kind of an interesting one because it can be used to keep you alive fairly effectively and for a very long time. And I'm sure many of you guys have been in the situation where you're in a pinch, you just run into an enemy, or you're in the middle of fighting another squad as the storm is right on your heels and you need to get out of there quick. Well, no storm, or no squad is running back into the storm to go get more enemies, not that I know of, at least, all right, unless they're extremely aggressive, and if you have a long way to go, they're not going to be dealing with that. So I recommend that you pop her ultimate ability as the storm closes, and it's a great way to get out of there, because if you guys can flank off, all right, get a little bit of ground out of the storm, well, as people are running away from the storm, you could pop that ability back into the storm, and it'll give you a good amount of time to at least get a heal off if you are weak. Like, once again, this is kind of strange because you're going back into the storm, but I'm telling you it's effective, okay? Going back into the storm can be the best situation sometimes because you're not taking shots and you're left alone. Now another tip, all right, the other side to this, if you're knocked and the storm is going in, or you're just knocked and you popped your 2 abilities, you've got your 2 portals, well, if you are down and you're right by your portal, go in and out of that thing, and you can literally stay alive and not allow them to kill you if you keep popping these portals back and forth. Leave them for your teammates to handle, because I've done this so many times. Someone's knocked me, I've had my 2 portals, and they can chase me all damn game long, portal to portal, portal to portal, but as long as you're catching that portal first, they're not getting you. So this is a great way to keep yourself alive if the storm is closing on you, or if you get knocked and you need to keep bouncing back from portal to portal. So that's going to do it for tip number 2. And now I'm going to lead you guys into one of like the cooler tips out of all these 5, and this is going to be a way to keep yourself safe if you're pinched in a gunfight. If you guys are in a room and there's one entrance, you can pop Wraith's ultimate ability, and if you block that doorway with her portal, people can throw stuff in, but they cannot enter the room. If they try to enter, they're just going to end up going through that portal, and it leaves you pretty safe. Now if there's another door, you can also pop each end of the portal into each door, and then essentially anyone from the outside won't be able to come in because they'll have to go through that portal, and then they'll just get popped out the other end. So just beware of incoming projectiles through those doors, because people will still throw them. But aside from that, you're going to be safe, nice and tight. You can pop a couple heals off while you're in there. And oh, actually, last thing, just beware that people can also shoot through these things. So just find a good angle, get a good corner, and you'll be able to recover yourself safely while trapping yourselves inside of these 2 portal doorways. So that's going to do it for tip number 3. We've had a good selection of tips so far. We've covered the zip line portal tip, so keeping yourself immune to damage. We've also had our abilities to pop yourself back into the storm and really get yourself into a unvolatile, you know, like shooting zone, so you can pop off some heals or stay alive bouncing back and forth. And then we just covered the way to trap yourself in by popping portals in 2 doorways, and this is going to lead us into our second last tip, which is mixing her abilities. Not a lot of people think of this. When you think of Wraith's abilities, it's like, oh, I'm either going to pop her into the void ability, which is going to keep me immune to damage, or I'm going to pop her ultimate ability, which is going to allow me to pop 2 portals. Well, one thing I do hate about Wraith is the fact that her ultimate doesn't make you immune to damage. People could still shoot you, and 9 times out of 10 when I do use her final ability, people see me and keep popping shots at me. I've died a lot of times using this ability, so I recommend meshing the 2 together. If you guys are really in a pinch, pop her portal ability and then pop her into the void ability while you're using your ultimate, and they stack. You'll be immune to damage, you'll have that speed boost because of the ultimate, and you guys will be able to get out of there quickly. And then if you need to stay alive once again, you can resort back to, I think it was tip number 2, keep popping those portals back and forth, and maybe popping off a couple shots in between just to keep yourself alive. So once again, offensive and defensive sides to all of her abilities. It's really versatile, and you can use them in either way, but you need to be using both of them to maximize Wraith's overall playstyle. So that's going to do it for the 4th ability. Once again, you're going to mix those 2 abilities together, the into the void and then the ultimate. And this final tip, okay, is how you should really just play with Wraith altogether. I think that's how I'm gonna close this up. It's just a general like benefit to using her abilities in a true offensive or defensive way, and that's gonna be you can really set up attacks with Wraith's portals and into the void ability if done properly. So say you guys are running and you hear a squad out in the distance. Well, a great way to set up your teammates into a safe situation entering into a gunfight, you can pop your final ability, and then say you hear them, like they may have high ground, or well, you can flank around, you can pop a portal up on even higher ground, and then you can pop off shots. Now if they push and you really get pinched, you can just pop back into that portal, and they don't know the entrance to that original portal. You'll be able to go back to a safe spot. And then if they do push, well, this leads us into the defensive side of the portal. You can kind of bait people, you can set up portals for people to take, and then play it more defensively. Sit back, wait for them to come through, and then ambush them as they come out the other side, because they don't know their surroundings when you first come out of a portal. So that is going to do it for the top 5 ways and tips I think you should like utilize Wraith's abilities to maximize her potential as a legend. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you found it informative, or if I like helped you out with anything you already didn't know, please make sure to drop a like. Once again, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace out.